Well, third parties are obviously going to be scarce. These are the top third-party characters I'd like, no matter whether realistic or unrealistic. Be aware, another company's first party is not third party, so there will be no Halo, or for those of you who can type, no Master Chief. I also will not mention Bomberman again, because it would be redundant, and he makes so much sense. It is less of a wish list, and more of a one day if we don't kill ourselves in a nuclear war, Bomberman will spread his good old-fashioned explosives. Also, one per company with a few exceptions for certain circumstances. And they all must have at least one appearance on a Nintendo console. Out of all of Atari's Nintendo games, Gauntlet probably stands out the most. Gauntlet introduced 4 characters, a warrior, a Valkyrie, a wizard, and an elf. The warrior was the default character and is most likely what most players remember playing as. The characters played identically, but had a particular strength. The warrior could run foolishly into battle with less repercussions, the Valkyrie in general was sturdier, the elf was fast, and the wizard was better with magic. I'm specifically looking for characters who bring something new or have a very unique appearance. The warrior is always shown carrying disposable throwing axes, and axes have never appeared in Smash except after the villager grows a tree. I would imagine him as a close quarters character primarily, with access to a few less terrifying long-range attacks. Thank goodness for the one appearance rule. Jazz Jackrabbit is best known for blazing his own franchise on PCs, mixing elements of Sonic with Mega Man and Metroid. It sounds like chaos, and it was, but it was brilliant. Jazz was trapped in the eternal battle with the evil turtle army across space, time, and almost reality. Jazz 3 was ultimately cancelled, but the franchise received an awful attempt at a reboot on the Game Boy Advance. The less said about it, the better. Jazz could fit right in with Mario, Sonic, and Mega Man, preferably taking more inspiration from his days off of Nintendo consoles. Who is faster, Rabbit or Hedgehog? Should I even do Capcom? There are so many good choices. First off, if future Smash Brothers have a Capcom character, it will probably still be Mega Man. Hands down, Mega Man is the no-brainer. Except Capcom hates Mega Man now that Inafune isn't there to protect him. I know Beautiful Joe fans won't be happy, and neither will Phoenix Wright or Okami fans. I almost went with Dawson because of those arms. They would have such potential in Smash. Still, 2 of those fan bases will be unhappy. Both would have such a unique feel. If not Mega Man, then amateur...
Objection!
Yes, Phoenix. Capcom has already proved he can fight, and I'm extremely curious what Sakurai would come up with. Of course, I'm curious what
Objection!
Yes, Phoenix's final would most likely be Objection. Oh, and we'd probably get a courtroom level too. It's enough of a zoo already. Maybe Pain's hair could be a hazard. Again, Sonic isn't going anywhere. As in, I'm pretty sure he will appear in all Smash games going forward, and I strongly doubt any third party will have more than one character per game, unless there is something serious going on between them and Nintendo, like soon-to-be-announced merger or long-term exclusive partnership serious. I don't think it is ridiculous to imagine one day Nintendo could own or have an exclusive agreement with Sega. They are getting pretty darn warm lately. If it wouldn't always be Sonic, Knights would probably be the best replacement, and he would almost certainly play like nothing we've seen before. He's had one appearance on the Dreamcast and one on the Wii, but he has a large cult following already. That's not even mentioning countless cameos. As an early NES veteran, Ryu definitely has the tenure needed for consideration. The only hesitation is exactly how gory his recent games are. However, he could easily be designed to reflect his early days more than his recent days, and would fit right in. Smash can never have enough ninjas. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. But ninjas are plenty welcome in my book, even if Ryu utterly fails at being an effective ninja. Maybe Greninja could show him a few pointers. Just as Square became known for Final Fantasy, Enix was known for Dragon Quest. And while it is of little significance in America and Europe, it is a much bigger deal in Japan. Of all the characters, Slime is the most iconic worldwide, and best fits with Mario, and coincidentally crossed over with Mario too. The Slime even received its own spin-off game. It might not appear to have much potential as a fighter, but it has shown a fair bit of diversity and could be a very tactical character. Then for its final smash, it could summon a tank and go crazy instead. Inafune doesn't have much announced at concept, but one of his most notable projects coming out very soon is Azure Striker Gunvolt, which is clearly a spiritual successor to Mega Man Zero and ZX. It is a 3DS exclusive, and it would be incredible to see some of his new creations make it into Smash. It might be awkward between Gunvolt and Mega Man, but who cares? Go ahead and build a special Easter egg rivalry into it. Oh yes, Crash. He used to be with Sony. Now after ownership hell, you are a free agent. Since he was freed, he has repeatedly frequented Nintendo systems. Many things would amuse me more than seeing Crash in Smash Bros., and I would be incredibly amused. I would almost be surprised if Nintendo hasn't approached Activision with this idea just as a slap in Sony's face for PlayStation All-Stars. Crash would certainly bring an interesting aspect to Smash, being Sony's answer to Sonic. So another second-degree answer to Mario, though not as humorously as coming from Nintendo. Who knew there were so many Gambit pile-ups in real life? Remember how I said one per company with a few exceptions? Square and Enix used to be different companies. This is the exception. I also considered Cactar, but felt Black Mage was more notable, even if he'd be less amusing to see running about. Perhaps Cactar could be the assist trophy or a stage hazard. The Black Mage has many spells at his disposal, and could have the ability to fight at a range, or closer, but likely benefiting most from fighting from a distance. This would be one of the most likely choices given the Black Mage has already crossed over with Mario twice, and as an unnamed character has appeared primarily on Nintendo consoles. The other mascot to be freed from the harsh reins of Sony. Spyro actually seems to be doing better than Crash. Even if he has lost himself at iterative vision, Spyro might actually make more sense than Crash. He'd be a small dragon-type fighter, at worst being on the opposite spectrum as Charizard and Bowser, though I'm sure he could be given plenty of his own personality, and would play nothing like other dragonish fighters. Again, he would be so amusing to see make it to Smash. And I think he'd be welcomed pretty warmly by Nintendo fans. Plus, Spyro Kirby would probably be adorable with little tiny wings. Oh dear god, I just imagined Villager Kirby. Next time will be even more Smash, as I list some Nintendo franchises I'd like to see represented, even without a playable character, or perhaps I'll go over some characters I don't want to see. I'll let you vote in the comments which you'd like to see. Also, if there are any other topics you'd like to see, feel free to leave them in the comments.